Hey, what's up, guys? Footy Manager TV here. This is episode 20 of my Southampton career, and we've got two matches in today's episode. Obviously, against Liverpool right here, but then FA Cup against Sunderland. We're doing very well in the FA Cup, and I would definitely love to keep that run going, but we're kind of just scraping through with those games against Wolves. They were tough games, surprisingly. I know some people might think Wolves, you should beat them easily, but don't forget Southampton, Wolves, there's not too much difference. Last year, Wolves could have easily still been in the Premier League, so they still have a very solid team. They made some good signings, and like I always say, they usually always come back in the Premier League in the next season, but for now, as you can see, the fitness is still taking its toll with those FA Cup matches. Look at that. Earlier in the season, basically every single player, at least on the substitutes bench, they were full fitness or full energy, as you can see there, but that is not the case right now. And we've got a really slim squad. We even have some players on loan, so we definitely have to fix that for next season. I will be looking to sign a lot of squad players, not first team players, maybe a lot of younger players, because it's hard with the game. You have to offer the contract status. Either they're a key player for your team or a future young player. So if you sign a really good player, they're expecting to start every match. But if you sign a young player, they're not expecting to start. And obviously you can't start so many players. You can only start 11, obviously. And if you sign too many of those, you're going to have problems within the squad. So that's what I like about this year's career mode, that you definitely need some squad management skills. And hopefully I'll be able to do that. But who knows what spanners will be thrown into the works with transfers and transfer offers, which players will be leaving next season, and the kind of transfer budget I'll have. So it will be a very interesting next season. We're going to have a very unique squad compared to this season, I could say. You're actually going to see me having to do this a lot, like changing up players, which is not ideal, obviously, because rotating your team, I'm going to have players in the team that are not full energy, and that may result to injuries as well. So there's so many things factoring in. You got to factor the performance of your players, and then you got to worry about injuries as well. It's really hard. That's when your squad management skills, like I said, they have to come into play. You have to play the right matches, or the right players in the right matches, I should say. And because with Liverpool, obviously they're a solid team, so you got to play some good players in there. But then again, you have to be careful of the injuries. You got to be careful of fitness as well, so the players don't get injured. So you got to think a bit. You can't just go in playing the matches. That could be a bit foolish. Then you could get an injury to a key player. There you see. And the table right now, we're 14th. We've got a game in hand to a couple teams on top of us. So even a draw, we could go up by one. So hopefully we can get a positive result in this match. But again, our goalkeeper, Artur Boruc, assists for the opposite team by not handling the ball correctly. I will be signing another goalkeeper into the next season because, yeah, he's not really doing it. Some games he does well, but overall, it's probably not good enough. Then Ricky Lambert, look at that strike. He is still performing despite being over 30, so I think he's 30 or turning 31, depends what time of the season. I think he starts at 30, but he may be 31 by now, but not sure. But he's still performing. That's the main thing I'm trying to say right now. And 45th minute, the ball's bobbling around in their box. Look how much times it comes back to them. Then eventually, Lucas Leiva scores in extra time or injury time in the 45th minute. And that happens so many times against me, and I'm sure it does to other people as well. There's not much you can do about it, as just try and focus as much as you can on defending. But again, we had our own chance in the 45th minute, but again, their keeper saves. Jose Reyna, he's a solid goalkeeper in Premier League level, so it's hard to get past him. We had a chance, but not on that occasion. So that was half-time, and we went in 2-1, losing there at home. So that wasn't ideal. I definitely would have been happy to go in a draw 1-1 with that equaliser by Ricky Lambert, but then they had the score by Lucas Leiva in that injury time period. There's a couple results there, Spurs and Wigan leading 1-0, I think it was, both of them. And here they had a free kick. Very close again. Like I said, Artur Boruc, he comes up with some very good saves like that, but occasionally he lets in some goals and parries it to the opposition. But I think that just happens with every goalkeeper. It's just how the game is, I guess. So but he is getting older, so I think he's not decreasing yet, but next season I think he might start to decrease because of his age. And here I definitely had to go for the sweaty goal there because here I was losing and I had to take no risks. And again, Gaston Ramirez, this guy cannot stop scoring, and you'll think that will lead to some very big offers from bigger teams. Actually, I really wouldn't mind that if I get big offers, because he is only 82 overall, and we could sign a good player if we get maybe 20 million. If it's like the Ben Arfa saga again with my Newcastle career, if you've been watching me since then, he really was forced to leave. If it's the same situation, it really is. It's like the same deja vu with the same thing. Ben Arfa was the key player, scoring all the time, and then he was forced to leave. He went to Manchester City. It may be the same situation again, but luckily we've kept Gaston Ramirez for now. But then Gerrard with the late shot. He could have won it there for Liverpool, but we should be holding on here. And yeah, there wasn't too much action in the second half. And like I said, I'll just be showing goals so I can get through the season quicker. I'm sure people like that. And of course, another injury. Exactly like I mentioned earlier. That is going to keep happening if you don't keep your fitness levels high. But what can you really do when playing lots of matches? There's not much you can do unless you have a really big squad, which we don't. So next season I'll be looking to sign just to make our squad bigger, even though they may not be really good players. Just players I can get for cheap. I may have a look at some players that are cheap but have good attributes and might do good in that position. I'm going to really look to have 2 players in each position. So you'll look for that into the second season. Spurs win 3-0, Wigan win 2-0. Very big results. Wigan's doing surprisingly good. I know we didn't get the win against them. You might think it's stupid because Wigan, they're not good, but if someone says that's really, you should be expected to win against Wigan, but they're doing good in the league. They're doing very well, and when a team does well in the game, like in one season, they seem to do pretty good throughout the season. But now, in the FA Cup quarter-final, we've made it this far already. Sunderland as well. I'm surprised Sunderland are that far, but I'm sure you'll be surprised we're that far as well. Getting some lucky results on the way with some simulated matches against easier teams at the start, and then against Wolves. I keep talking about it, but in my opinion, I was really lucky to escape. They had, in the first match, they had a penalty. If they scored that, we would have been out. But we're in it now. Can't focus on the past. Just got to focus on what's ahead of us right now. We've got Sunderland. Away match, though. Those away matches, they can be really tricky. So I really have to focus very hard, even though if I try and get a draw and then play in the home match and maybe try and get the win there. So who knows with that. But really, I don't want more matches. As you can see with the fitness, it's really telling right now. Getting injuries. Look at that. 2 key, really defensive players, Montoya and Foreign. 2 of the higher rated players, one in right back, one pacey guy in right back. But obviously, we still have a player in that right back position, but we still need to rotate. That's the problem. We can't rotate now. Obviously, Nathaniel Klein is there, but we have really no one to rotate in right back. That's when the problems strike. When you get when you get more than one player out in like one part of the ground in the defense, you usually don't have someone. I would try and sign probably a centre back that can play right back, but I like my fullbacks to attack, and centre backs don't really often have high attacking work rate, apart from like the guys like David Luiz and a couple others. So yeah, you got to look at definite work rates as well. That's a very important to how your formation is. I really like my formation, and the fullbacks definitely need high attacking work rate to use the wings, because we've got a lot of players in the centre, but we don't play with wide midfielders or wingers. So that's something we need to look for. And early in the match here, Niang, he's a very good signing on loan from AC Milan, but like I said, I probably won't sign him just because of not having the funds. But then Adam Lallana. This guy is probably my favourite player. A very dangerous celebration, but it's just a game. No injury will be occurred there. But look at that. He controlled that very well. Didn't do a fake shot. Just nice, close dribbling right there. Finessed it into the corner. Once again, I like doing that. But Lallana, he's one of the very few English players that have flair. So I definitely like him, and I'm so excited he's in our team. And he's still a young player as well, so he can slightly improve in his attributes, not amazingly, but he can still improve gradually every season because he's still fairly young, like I mentioned. But Sunderland now, I suppose that was like a lucky ball. And here they're getting the ball back. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a player. And here, very nice header by them, and it finds Craig Gardner, and he finishes near post. Craig Gardner, that was a bit of a surprising goal. I wasn't expecting that from him as a centre mid, but he made the run into the box, and he duly deserved that goal with a good run into the box, like I mentioned. So really, right now, I'm struggling to hold the 1-0 lead in every single match. When I get a goal, I always seem to concede, and you're going to see heaps of these 1-1 matches. As you can see by the time there was no more action in this match, but who knows, something may happen late in the match. Mangane, Larson, Fletcher, Graham has a chance to score a goal, but we're pressuring them very well here. They shouldn't score. Once again, we're basically doing what the opposition would do to me, putting all the players back. And I will just take the 1-1 draw here because obviously we won't win. And we'll go to our home ground, and hopefully at home we will have that home ground advantage that will give us that slightest advantage, obviously, to win. Maybe our home crowd can get us over the line. But I will hopefully look to play Mayuka. I don't think Mayuka played in this match, needed to rest him because, with the rotations. And Ricky Lambert was one of the strikers in this match, but he did score. But Mayuka, he's probably going to be one of the future strikers for us in our team. Also, some youth players will come into the team next season, which I'm excited for. That's why I'm trying to get a lot of these episodes out so I can get through this. I don't want to get through it too quickly, but I want people to see how I'm going in the second season as well. Because let's say my team looks, it's sort of how I would build a team. I've said it on some occasions that my first season isn't that great because of, I need time to build the team I want and get rid of the players that I don't really like in the team. Bolton winning against Everton. If we get drawn against Bolton, that's if we get past Sunderland. That could be a very good result there. So that's good. I suppose we're going to have another game that's going to be scheduled for a later date. Again, messing with our fitness, but definitely, like I said at the start of the run of the FA Cup, I want to try and win the FA Cup to qualify for the Europa League. That would be fantastic for this series, fantastic for this career, would make interest even more for you viewers, people, my subscribers and that. You'll be interested more if I'm in a European competition with Southampton as well. That could be really entertaining for the second season. And yeah, I would love to get in that, but if not, maybe next season, maybe try and qualify that by the position we get. But you just got to wait and see. You don't want to give away all these things because, you want to be surprised and that kind of thing. As you can see, Adam Lallana, good performances, gets called up for England. I don't think he's played for England in real life, if I remember correctly. Hasn't really played. Getting a player back from injury, Ferren, fantastic that is. Getting Ferren back there, then we really can get Morone out. He's more of a defensive mid, so that's pretty much it for now. Getting some players back for injury, which is good. So hopefully enjoy this episode, leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time.